French fries. Calories 500 in a large fry, 4.2 ounces. How do I know that? I used to work at McDonald's 30 years ago. Protein 12%, 6 grams. Fat 25 grams, 38% of recommended daily value of fat. Carbs 21%. Sodium 15%, 350 milligrams approximately, depending how much salt they sprinkle on your fries. And what, you ask, am I doing with this French fry container? Using it to protect the axle stub on this Nissan Hardbody. This is my friend's T-Ruck. You may have seen it when I plow his driveway. This truck came from Hawaii and Alaska, and here it is now in the Adirondacks, rusting away. So, his steering was binding, and I thought maybe it was his idler arm, so I took the idler arm off of the steering arms right there, and it was perfect. I put a grease fitting on it. It had a cap where the grease fitting goes, and I greased it, and the grease ran nice and clean, and it's perfect condition. Good rubber seals, kept the moisture out, even though it's right in the road splash area. So, went around to this side, and I looked, and the boot is busted. So I took it apart, and now can't get it to turn. Oops, look at that. Uh-oh. How's that going to come out now? Tight fit. How am I going to get that axle out of there? So I went to the auto parts store, Flap, friendly local auto parts, and I got a brand new made in China axle for 70 bucks. Can you believe it? Boots used to be $10, that's 20. Get the whole friggin' axle for 70 bucks. Brand spanking new, made in China. I'm not going to show you how I took it out. I'm not going to show you how I put it in, because I got to get to work. It makes me crazy to watch this truck rust. When I first met him a few years ago, this truck had no rust at all. It's a 92 regular cab. So I got to figure out how to get this axle out of here. Maybe if I lower my new hydraulic floor jack, which works so sweet. I had to raise the truck slightly by the control arm. There we go. So you can get the ball joint separated and get the knuckle off with the four-wheel drive parts. Almost there. Don't tell me I gotta remove the shock absorber. Oh man, so close. Steering link, maybe the anti-sway bar link. Anyhow, I'll figure it out. Trust me. Didn't take me 3 seconds. As soon as I turned the camera off, I found out that you wiggle it past the suspension stopper and you twist it, and whee, there it is. Can't believe people would eat these crappy French fries and poison their bodies. Shame, shame, shame. I'm gonna wash it down with a Mountain Dew. Came out real easy. Oh man, come on. Came out of that hole. There we go. No rust. It'll be rusty soon enough. No fluid film on this T-Ruck. Alright, I need 2 hands to bolt this baby up, and the ball joint's just a little worn. 4-wheel drive. Hey, I was reading on one of the Subaru forums last night. I'm going to buy a Subaru to replace the Hyundai. I'm getting tired of that buzz box. That the Forester, there's one right there, is an Impreza, and the Outback is a Legacy. Get the Outback, more ground clearance, better view down the road. So I'm looking at one, and a friend of mine in North Carolina just sent me back a message saying, yeah, the one you found is a spam. Too cheap, $5,000 vehicle for $25,000. It's not a real ad, it's junk. Alrighty. Put it back together. It's nice and sunny here. End of January, and it's 40 degrees outside, +3 or +4 Celsius. It's freaking crazy. Where's the snow? I'll have to plow. Lucky me. I'll keep you posted. I'm going to show you more than I thought. Well, this part wasn't easy. Lifting up the hub, rotor, caliper, pad assembly. That wasn't too bad. Getting the bottom ball joint nut on, but getting the top one on, I was trying to jack up the jack over there, and it's sliding because it's a smooth underneath. Doesn't want to catch. So I'm trying to crank it up, and I'm holding up this assembly, and the shaft wants to fall out of the bearing, and I finally pushed down the control arm and got that nut on. Well, it's a two-person job for 3 seconds. Anyhow, just put excuse me, put it all back together, grease those joints that ain't been greased in freaking 50 years. What a crime, huh? What a crime. Nice Nissan Hardbody.
The remains were still smoldering, and this was on a 2-lane highway.
Rusting away.
Louisiana.
Rusting away. Dual piston non-floating? Oh yeah, it's a floating caliper. Yeah, it would be a 4-piston otherwise, or a 2-piston opposed. Alright, got my made in China axle on, my made in Japan T-Ruck. 4-cylinder.
What stuck with me was the way that he spelled out the words.
Brought the Suburban to the car wash.
Way. But on the sign, he had painted it G-O-D on the top.
Somebody asked me how the fluid film is holding out. Well, today would be a good day to rinse this off. It's so warm. Rinse off the salt because there's no fluid film here. Just the most small amount washed away.
Immediately.
To the right, you see some. To the left, there's just about nothing left to wash off the wheels. I'm going to try that fluid film gel, and I have to get some running board ends from DZ. Yeah, I need some heavier fluid film here on the inner fenders. Definitely needs to be a thicker mixture. Because everywhere else, it's there, see? Lots of good fluid film there, but nothing where the wheel wash washes it away. See, got some in there, but it needs to have the gel or white grease. I found is very resilient, but I gotta rinse it thoroughly. I want to trap in the salt. All right, I'll put this back together. And my friend will pick up his T-Ruck, and I'll make a little bit of cash for a change. Alright, I've got the cotter pins reinstalled. And opened up. And I'll spray some red grease on them from Texas. I gotta put the self-locking nylock on, and now I've got the hub half for the locking hub, and I'll slide that on. And a little bearing in there. Click. And then I will take my internal expanding snap ring pliers. And this is a two-handed job, so I don't lose this snap ring. Oh. I gotta pop the axle out a bit. Get that snap ring in.
And my father leaning forward.
No.
And what I've been told is that this.
All right, you know how it goes. That snaps on, then I take the hub, pop that back on, put the Allen keys, put the nut on, put the caliper back on, lower the jack. Couldn't get any grease in these ball joints. Sees the holes welded shut. Never been greased. Oh well, I got a grease fitting on there. That does a lot, huh? Anyhow. Alrighty. Expensive tires, rim protectors.
Oh, no, you could
Expensive.
not. You know, you didn't dare. From sleeping.
Wow, this jack goes all the way up. Look at that.
She would say,
Almost 90 degrees. I like this jack. Good quality dual piston.
oh, why did
New
I have to
axle.
wake up? It was just
Hope I didn't forget any parts.
the guilt. You could imagine.
Tiny bit of play in the center link.
Guilt was the survivor.
Just a little bit. Look at that. I don't know, it took me an hour or so.
I was taught
1 or so hours.
by both of them.
Take my made in China safety stands out.
Was that I was going to be a really good person because I was the little cousin. And I was going to have to be a really good person.
You should have
to prove that it was
a piece of steel welded onto the base to spread the load because you're loading up the jack stand on a 3/16 piece of steel cutting into the tarmac. It's got a little piece welded on so it shouldn't spread, but should have a big washer welded on or a plate of steel. Spread the load. Because I don't have a concrete driveway, I have a tarmac. Tarmacadam. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Oh, I wanted to grease. I wanted to grease the universal joints.
I don't remember a time when I didn't think in this
Non-greasable,
way.
probably.
Probably a little less when I was a teenager.
Probably.
But even then, no, not a time when I didn't
No rust on this frame.
think, how can I have been this lucky?
Rust there.
What can I do to
Oh, yeah.
prove how grateful I am
Oops.
for being this lucky?
Uh-oh. I'm in trouble now. Give me some chewing gum or duct tape quick.
See,